Hello fellow lovers of the liminal and the weird, and welcome to another video by Liminal Spaces. Today I'm going to be talking about a classic piece of weird fiction and cosmic horror, and that is H.P. Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space. This is the copy that I read it in. I read this story when I was younger, when I was a teenager, so I have a bit of a recollection of it, but this was kind of a first-rate read for me since it's been so long. So this is the story of an unnamed narrator who is a surveyor coming from Boston to look at a piece of land that the locals from Arkham refer to as the Blasted Heath. And this is the story of him trying to figure out what the secret is to this part of town, or this kind of suburb outside. It's not even a suburb, it's like farmland outside of Arkham that is shunned by everyone. Nobody even really drives past there. They stopped using the road and everything. And this is the story of this surveyor trying to figure out what exactly happened to this land. And he ends up talking to a local who lives just on the edge of this blasted heath named Amy Pierce. And Amy Pierce tells the story of a farmer named Nahum Gardner. And we learn that a meteorite fell to Earth and landed either in or near Nahum Gardner's well. No, it was near. It didn't land in, it was near. And at first, everybody, especially the gardeners, were very excited about this, and people were coming from Miskatonic University to check this out, and it was all very cool. But slowly, the gardeners start seeing colors that they cannot describe because there's no name for these colors on Earth, and the vegetation starts growing bigger, but it's not really edible, and the animals all start changing and distorting, and this is the story of what happens to all of them, and then what eventually is planned to happen to this blasted heath. This is a classic Lovecraft. I would absolutely call it cosmic horror, although I don't think it connects to the Cthulhu mythos. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is just cosmic horror, right? This is just a meteorite that lands on Earth that starts to change everything around it. And I did a video recently connecting all of these stories that I think have a similar idea to this. The Willows, which is somehow an area, this island in the middle of the Danube is an area that is connected to another world, is the way that Algernon Blackwood describes it. And then we get Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space, where a meteor creates a zone that is corrupted by this alien influence. In this case, it starts with the colors, which leads to, of course, Roadside Picnic by the Strugatsky brothers, where an alien ship or something passes by, lands on Earth. Nobody notices, but they maybe dump all their unnecessary stuff and take back off and continue on their journey. But the place where they landed and dumped this stuff becomes a zone that is very, very dangerous to humans. And we get it, of course, in Area X, Jeff Vandermeer's Annihilation, which is a great modern novel of cosmic horror that I really enjoyed. So this is a concept that has been told, and there's probably a bunch I'm missing. I haven't read everything. I bet there's other zone stories that you guys can think of. Put them in the comments. I'd love to see more. But yeah, this is one of the earliest zone stories, and I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of interesting themes. Number one, the theme of something from outside of our understanding, from outside of our planet, coming down and changing us on almost a kind of fundamental genetic level. It messes with the gardener's brains. and eventually it starts messing with their bodies. They start deforming. And the movie version of this with Nicolas Cage goes much further into that body horror, but I do believe the body horror is here. It is described at one point, but everything's a little bit vague, which I think is really good. I think that's a smart way to do it. This was H.P. Lovecraft's self-admitted favorite story of his. And I can see why. It's a really, really good story. It also hit themes of eco-horror. This is not a spoiler. It comes very early in the book when we first meet the surveyor from Boston. The reason he's surveying the land is because it's about to become a reservoir. And throughout the book, as he learns more and more, he says, I'm never going to drink the water from this reservoir. And I think that is a huge theme throughout this story is this another, is flooding this valley instead of taking away the problem, only going to intensify the problem? Is it going to spread the problem to more people, which is such a terrifying concept that I really think this book pushed. I really liked that as well. And I don't know if that's a theme Lovecraft covers often. I feel like, I don't know. I haven't read enough Lovecraft. I mean, I read a ton when I was a kid, but I can't remember a lot of it. So I think this is an absolutely incredible read. This is a wonderful place to start with H.P. Lovecraft. The prose in this one don't feel as intricate as some of his other stuff. I feel like sometimes Lovecraft is the type of writer that has a thesaurus right next to him so that he can find the most archaic words or esoteric words to jam into his manuscripts. This one didn't feel like that. This one felt like it flowed really well. Yeah, so I highly recommend this one. Let's look at the publication history of it really quick. So this was first printed in Amazing Stories, September of 1927. And the art on this was done by Frank R. Paul. After that magazine, it was not published again until 1939. And that was, of course, when Arkham House was founded, and it was published in the first Arkham House Lovecraft work, which was The Outsider and Others. And here you can see the Virgil Finlay art that graced the cover of that book. So yeah, there was like a 12-year gap where the only place you could get this was in that Amazing Stories. So I do have one small complaint about this story, and I mean small. This is a small complaint. This is a classic. It's one of Lovecraft's best, but I do have one small complaint, and it's just, it's about my taste and not about Lovecraft as a writer. Lovecraft is obviously very famous and very beloved writer. So, but for me, I feel like the end of this is a little too climactic. And I know that's a weird thing to say because the end of a story should have a climax. Absolutely, and I agree with that. It's just that I have been reading a lot of pre-Lovecraftian cosmic horror. And one of the things that I really love about this is how subtle but terrifying a lot of it is. I'm talking about William Hope Hodgson's House on the Borderland. I'm talking about The Willows by Algernon Blackwood, right? These are stories that, like The Willows is a perfect example. I feel like The Willows is a bit of a better story than this one, and a lot of people will disagree with me on that, and that is okay. And I think the biggest complaint people will say about The Willows is that it's boring. And I think that is a taste difference. The subtlety of Algernon Blackwood in The Willows is incredible, and for me, brings my sense of terror up way more. Whereas this one, I am going to say spoilers from this point. So if you haven't read The Color Out of Space, then you might want to stop the video here because I'm about to give away the end of the story. Okay, everyone's still with me. I feel like the spectacle that is the end of this story with people becoming puddles and an alien thing shooting out of the well into the sky, for me, has a tendency to deaden the horror a little bit. Then I'm wondering, wait, so what did this alien come to Earth to do? Is it just a color? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong. The mystery is fun. That's half the fun. But I feel like Lovecraft specified over and over again with so many different things going on that I was then more interested in the ideas than I was terrified. I hope that makes sense. That's just a personal thing. It's my take. One thing I will say is the zone is more defined. By having the meteor come down, that was sheer brilliance. So if you compare the beginning of the Willows to this has a more structured reason for this place being haunted by this alien color out of space. Whereas in the Willows, we don't know why these two worlds overlapped. It's never really explained. It feels ancient, like it's from myth and folklore, but also at the same time it feels very alien. So I think that Lovecraft started strong. And I feel like Hodgson finished strong, if that makes sense. That is some serious nitpicking. This is one of the best cosmic horror stories of all time. It's a great story and very much worth a read. And I feel the movie with Nicolas Cage is worth a watch. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people have a hard time with Nicolas Cage, but I loved it. I thought it was done very, very well. All right, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.